Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Aries in August 2019. Hello, Aries. What's going on? How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. All right, more than halfway done through the year of 2019. Kind of crazy. Huh? Maybe not. Maybe your life has been normal. No matter what's going on with you, Aries, I hope you're doing well. Just coming out of this retrograde, crazy retrograde, or at least the Mercury part of retrograde. Other planets will soon go direct. How soon, I don't really know. I'm not an astrologer, but I feel at least, I may not know, but I feel at least the crazy part of the retrograde that was happening in July is pretty much done with. But again, not an astrologer, so you can't quote me on that, or at least I advise that you don't quote me, okay? All right, Aries, shuffled off camera. That's your main spread there. Going to shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. You can look in the description box below if you want to jump ahead. There will be a timestamp down there for you. Also down there is all the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. Simply follow the steps. Contact me, send me payment through PayPal. I send you a confirmation email, and then within 24 to 72 hours, you will get your video privately uploaded for you here on YouTube for you to watch as long and as often as you choose, okay? But if you have any questions before you place an order, you can also feel free to email me at the same address, and I will respond to you post-haste. And also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment, guys. Doing all those things keeps my content afloat here on YouTube, keeps me circulating among the masses, and so I really appreciated the support I've received so far. And if you want to keep a girl sort of in business or keep me moving towards my goals, doing any and all of those things would be super, super helpful, okay? All right, let's get Aries an outcome for August 2019. Outcome for Aries in August 2019, please show me. Whoa, there it goes, tumbling to the ground. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. And where'd it go? Oh, there it goes, okay. I thought it fell on this side, which it did. Came like that, sits like that on the desk, on the table. And we'll flip the remaining card for you. All right, and let's see what's going on with you, Aries. Please show me where Aries is in August 2019. Please show me Aries in August 2019. Please show me. Okay, thank you. Whew. It took a couple times, but I was like, is it that one? And they're like, yeah, it's this one. Okay. All right, Aries, so coming into August 2019, you come in with the Queen of Pentacles. All right, Earth sign energy, so you might be dealing with an Earth sign, Gemini, Libra, no. No. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Earth signs, okay? You don't have to be dealing with any of those particular signs. It's just a general because, you know, here we are in a general read, and I can't be sure because, you know, you're not seeing me one-on-one. But anyway, Queen of Pentacles energy in general for you, Aries, is talking about, you know, your foundations in life. I think there's a focal point on that. I feel like some of you are definitely minding your coins. You're definitely minding your money. You're very interested in how much money you're making. You're looking at, you know, your pay raises over the past few years. You're looking at, you know, your mobility within your corporation or your company or wherever you work, it doesn't matter. And so you're really, really, you know, figuring out, calculating, you know, how much you stand to gain over X amount of years working at this place versus if you did this versus if you did that. So some of you are really kind of moving the chips around and really trying to figure out, you know, I don't know what your goal is. If you're saving up for a new home, if you're saving for a vacation, if you're saving just for retirement, I don't know. But there is this emphasis for a part of you, for some of you, thank you, for some of you to really be interested in how much money is coming into your household or how much money is coming into your bank account every week, every month, every other week, whatever it is. The larger group, which this group of the ones interested in money would be included in, is the foundation thing. Whether you have it now or not, Aries, you definitely want things to be solid. This queen is for lack of a better word, this energy is hitting me as like desperate, or just like in a dire need. Like I absolutely need this right now. So some of you, you might be having like a shift in your home life. You might be moving out of a home or being kicked out, you know, maybe, you know, for whatever reason you're being evicted, or, you know, due to circumstances outside of your control, like, you know, tragic like weather patterns, your home was damaged, and so now you kind of have to, you know, get on the phone to your insurance company and make claims, and you need somewhere to put your head up at, or put your feet up at night and rest yourself. And it's just like there's like this like an urgency. If it's not desperate, it's urgent, that I have to be settled. I need a strong foundation. I need things to be settled. I need things to be sort of not tucked away, but like neat. And I'm feeling it is like a physical space. Like my physical space has to be neat, predictable. Like I know it's there. Like if you literally have lost your home for whatever reason, or you've been kicked out of a place, and you don't know when you leave your job, when you leave whatever you do during the day, where you're going to go home at night to rest, that could make a person feel kind of desperate. That definitely would up the urgency, right? So, and it's very intense. This fixation on foundation, this fixation on where you sleep at night, this fixation on where you're going to move next. Because I think a lot rests on this. I think a lot is riding on this. I mean, you know, so much of our lives is structured or anchored in our home, right? In our home life. So it's the place where I feed myself. It's the place where I feed my kids. It's the place where I bathe myself. It's the place where I do, you know, these types of hobbies. It's like a lot of things in most people's lives exist out of their home. So if something has happened to your physical place of rest, it would throw many other things out of whack. Yeah. So there's definitely, and I mean, look how she's like cradling that rabbit. It's like this, like I said, it's like a desperate feeling. Like I have to protect what I have. Oh God, this is one of these decks where it changes the color on my camera. So I guess I better hold it back here and not all the way up here, because then it turns pink or something. See, there it goes. Anyway, so there's this feeling of I have to protect what's mine, or I have to secure what's mine, or I have to secure a new home, a new place for me to stay. And there's just like this, also like a panic. And I feel that's for a smaller like group of you, where, you know, because of, you know, a disaster, a fire, or some, you know, flooding or something like that, you're like really like in a pinch to have to find a place. So you might be having to sleep at a hotel for a few weeks, or you might be staying with friends or family for a few weeks, and that of course can run you ragged, and that can be very uncomfortable. Yeah. So I really can't get much else besides money and home, which, you know, Pentacles is more than that. Pentacles can talk about your physical health, your physical body, mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, all that kind of stuff. So maybe that's in there too. You know, if you're not sleeping well, it could be that. Maybe your home is fine, but you're just not sleeping well. You don't feel very good. And so there's this emphasis on, with this energy for you, Aries, coming in is, I want my house to be good. I want my paycheck to be good. I want my body to feel good. I want everything to feel functional and capable, because so much rests upon, like I said, where you sleep. So much rests upon the healthy, the healthfulness, or the healthy nature, whatever, how well you feel. If you don't feel well, if you are ill, you can't really go to work. And if you're ill and you stay home, you can't really take care of your home. A lot of people, you know, when they're sick, like they're like laid up in bed, like they cannot do anything. So there's like this interest in making sure that things in your physical world that have value to you, that provide structure in your life and foundation in your life, are functional. And this is in a repaired state. I don't feel many of you are like coming into this like loss of a home, or your house being in disarray, or you're not feeling well. I think I'm feeling this is more of like a recuperating energy. I think that we're ramping back up to some sense of normalcy, or ramping, or like I said, shifting over into, okay, I don't live at that address anymore. I've been evicted, or I got kicked out, or my lease was up and I needed a new place. So I'm moving from a 1-bedroom apartment to a 2-bedroom you know, loft or something like that. Whatever you're doing, it's just like you are aware of the trajectory, and the thing that's really giving me the panic is the timing of it. So this could be down to documentation. You've signed with the leasing company or the leasing office, but they haven't gotten back to you of when you can come pick up your key, and you're trying to, organize the movers, and you're trying to get everything like sort of all the ducks in a row. And so there's a contingency on other people being available or resources being available to you, and like executing a plan to the letter. That's very interesting, because I don't know what else is out here, but like, and that's the thing. I've been talking and I've been looking out, across the room, so I haven't really seen what's out here, but I wish you could also feel what I'm feeling. Like, it's like blinders on. Like, I feel like a horse with blinders on. I don't even know what else is out here that we're going to, because this already feels a little bit like irksome, or a little like tedious, or it feels like consuming. So I hope to God the rest of whatever's happening on the table for you isn't going to upset your progress here. So let's find out, shall we? So you got people who are yeah, okay. Okay. So we've got, yes, so we've got people depending on you, or you have entanglements with people, family, friends, it does not matter. There's this stepping into a leadership, I feel, for some of you. Yeah, here. Right, okay, so King of Pentacles down in the bottom corner here. We do have a pair, King and Queen of Pentacles, right? I don't necessarily know that this is a partner of yours, like specifically like a romantic partner or anything like that. Some of you may have like a need, like this pressure up here that the Queen of Pentacles is feeling, or that energy that I was connecting with a second ago, could be because the King of Pentacles, whoever this is to you, is unavailable or just cannot fulfill the duty that we would normally associate with the King of Pentacles. Again, earth sign energy towards Virgo or Capricorn. You don't have to be dealing with an earth sign, but that's twice in the court card with earth. So consider the earth signs in your life, or consider where earth is placed in your own chart or in someone else's chart. Okay. Like, this king is around, he's here in the foundation, but he's off to the side as well. So he is a part of what you know. He's established, right? And I'm saying he only because it's king. This could be a woman, gender. It could be all kinds of vice versa and swapped out. So don't pay attention to that. But this king's energy, it's here, but it's off to the side. It's like on the bench, on a timeout, or it's preoccupied. We'll say that. Preoccupied. It's busy elsewhere. So this king could be the person you used to live with, roommates, family, lovers, it does not matter. And maybe you guys are going your separate ways, if you're moving out of your parents' home or moving out of your cousin's house or something like that. They too have similar interests in terms of the pentacles. They too are interested in having an established home, having something that's stable and secure, right? But they're outside of you, this person. Like, they are just doing their own thing. And it's not a negative, it's just what exists between you. You two are existing on very similar paths. You're both very concerned about similar things, but they're going about it a completely different way. Or their focus or their way of handling the issue or handling their problems is totally different. The Queen of Pentacles on this card is a human. The King of Pentacles on this card is an owl. Like, same suit, both in the court cards, but totally different species, right? So their way of attacking their situation, I think they're a little more established than you are in some cases. Aries, they have, not because of, king versus queen, it's just the vibe I'm getting, just like looking at how intensely that owl is staring, is just like, versus the sort of woe is me look of the Queen of Pentacles. Like, this person is a little stronger or has a firmer footing in whatever they're dealing with. So if you both are leaving a home, let's say this is you and your ex or something like that, and you're like selling your home together, which is, you know, a headache and a half in itself when two people own the same property and it has to go up for sale, right? This person has a little bit more to fall back on, or a little bit, their head is on their shoulders a little more firmly than yours. I feel like you're in a bit more of a panic than this person. If you're cohabitating, you're not actually leaving, then this person is kind of holding down the fort while, like I said earlier, you're kind of in this recuperating state. You're kind of trying to get yourself back into some kind of routine, getting yourself back out into some type of healthy state of mind, or you're physically tired, you're physically exhausted, you're physically drained. This person is just all around a little more, quote unquote, stronger than you are. But again, they're off to the side and they're in your foundation. So like they're a part of your experience, foundational, right? But they're not in line with you. Like if he was right below you, that would be a little bit more in line with what you're experiencing. This person is just off doing their own thing. I feel they're accomplished. I feel that they're smart. I feel that they have the same concerns about money that you do. They could have money like you do, or more money than you, maybe. But they're solid, but removed. I don't know how else to explain that. They're a part of your life, or they're a part of this experience with you, the situation that you're in, but they're not in line with what exactly you're experiencing, Aries. You're going through a little bit more of a topsy-turvy energy, a little bit more of a recalibration, and they're just kind of like, oh, this was slightly inconvenient, and they shift one or two things around, and then they're fine. You're like, you know, you've got like 5 balls in the air, like you're juggling 5 different things at once. This person is just like doing the solo juggle of like two things, you know? It's kind of that way. And okay, with this in between you, thank you. So some of you definitely, this is someone that you are or were romantically involved in with the Lovers. Pretty, you know, nail on the head with that link between you, right? Queen, King, Lovers in between, right? So whether you're past partners, future partners, current partners, I don't know, but there is a link of affinity between the two of you. I'm not going to say love, because I can't sit here and say you're all in love with each other, because I definitely, listen, if we talk about the pairs in the tarot, in the court cards, the pentacles are effusive enough. They're definitely not over the top with love and affection like the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups. And they're not as fiery and passionate and just like thirsting and lusting after life like the King and Queen of Wands would be. And they're definitely not like the King or Queen of... I mean, they're smart like the King and Queen of Swords would be. They're logical and everything. But I wish, you know, that's the archetype, I think. Like an Ozzy and Harriet kind of thing. That's like a deep throwback for people who are older than me. So let me try and illustrate that a little bit better. Like the King and Queen of Pentacles, if you were to think of what these people were to look like in their domestic space, like they would sleep in separate bedrooms, these two. Like they're in love, they're married, they're committed, but they sleep in separate bedrooms. Or like if you throw it back to like the early like television days where couples couldn't be in the same bed, they sleep in the same room, but they sleep in separate twin beds in the same room. Like it's that kind of affection, or it's that type of connection. It doesn't necessarily look like it's romantic. It doesn't look like it's the most lovey-dovey relationship in the world, but it works like a well-oiled machine. It just works. So some of you are living in a relationship like that, whether that is romantic or not. You could be just roommates with a person, but that's how you guys work together. You know, bills are paid on time, the house is kept neat, all these kinds of things, but there isn't like a lot of effusiveness between these two people. You know, maybe it's down to the stress level. Like I said, I feel King of Pentacles is slightly less stressed than the Queen, and maybe that's kind of like giving me this tone of business first, like we have to handle all of the business first and then pleasantries later. And that's pretty simple. Like it's kind of straightforward with you, Aries. This is obviously not going to resonate for everybody, because not all of you are living with anyone else, or you're not even because again, I feel this is like heavily tied to people that share a domestic space or share significant time in a certain place with someone. This could be a work situation if we wanted to really, you know, pick this apart and kind of stretch it out and kind of expand on it. This could be a business partner or someone that you work closely with on your team, in your department. You know, you handle stress a little bit less well right now than this person, and they might be helping you along, or vice versa, something like that. But they're the lovers, beyond that potentially romantic or that potentially, you know, love-centered connection for some people out there, the lovers just speaks to commonality. You meet a partner, romantic or not, and you agree. You have to be of like mind. You have to be of like heart. You know, you have to care about the same things and share the same goals. That is a tall order, because to be aligned within yourself is hard work already. To be aligned with someone else completely external to you is even harder. So also lover's card, major arcana for Gemini. So some of you might be dealing with a Gemini, but you don't have to be. Yeah, like the entanglement of these two birds, right? Like they're layered almost. Like in this two-dimensional depiction, they look like they're almost one being. So, and that was pretty smooth because I was about to fall on my hand, but I saved it. Anyway, there's an entanglement with you two. Given that you're both represented today by the Pentacles, could be money, could be you, like I said, in business or in the home. There's a heavy monetary entanglement between the two of you that kind of is hard to unravel. Like I'm seeing like this twine, like this very knotted twine, and both of you are pulling at your end. Like this person, King of Pentacles, is pulling on their end to kind of get the twine straightened out, and you're pulling on your end trying to get it straightened out, but it actually makes it tighter. It actually makes the knotting worse. So there is an emphasis with this Lover's card between the two of you here in the corner is to go to the knot, whatever the source of the drama is, whatever the source of the tension is, and work it out from the middle. You can't work it out from either side. So if there is distance between you, I don't know what relationship this is. General reading, guys, you pick, you decide who this is and how it fits in your life. You both can't come at it from your opposing sides and say, well, my solution is going to work for me over here, and you tug on your end, and then they say, oh, well, my solution is going to work for me over here on my end, and they tug on their end. It just makes things worse. So there's something where there's a knotting together causing you stress, causing them stress too, but they're like playing it way cooler than you are. Like they might be more fierce than you. Fierce, like again, look at this owl just like staring directly at the viewer. So there's like an unwaveringness with this King of Pentacles, and you're kind of like, the queen definitely more than the king would be like, okay, let's just like, I'm so tired of like being entangled in this. I'm so tired of going back and forth about this. I just want to settle. And I feel that's mostly you, Aries. You don't want any more drama. You don't want any more tension. This thing has gone on for however long, weeks, months, years, I don't know. And again, it could be down to like money, or just cohabitating with a person, or just working closely with someone at work. Like, I think you know that it works to a certain extent, but I feel many of you want to see whatever tension exists between you, that to go away. Maybe some of you want to keep the relationship. Maybe some of you have no intention of leaving the relationship and they don't have any intention of leaving, but there's just something unworkable between you. Or you're going back to what we said and what I was saying in the beginning, where some of you are trying to find a new footing or find a new home, find a new base to work out of, and this person is just like dragging their feet, and you're like, come on, the lease is up at the end of October, or the lease is up at the end of September, whatever it is, and you're just like, we need a new house, we need a new place to stay, and this person's just like, well, you know, we'll get to it. Like, there could be tension in that way. So whatever brings you two together, this lovers thing, it does feel very amicable. It does feel that at some point, if not currently, things were good. But when you're so entangled, like with these two birds, but you're two individuals, it makes things blurry. It makes things blurry. And it could be, this is like so, like, this is like a layered, like, lasagna in my mind, because some of you are feeling really good about this relationship. You feel copacetic with this person. Others of you, you're like pulling your hair out and like you can't stand to work with them anymore. You can't stand to be dealing with them in whatever capacity anymore, and you just want to be done with it. So it's super general, guys. You kind of know, and I'm like coming in and out of like both sides, because on one hand I feel really good that this person and I are partners. This is me speaking as if I was you. I feel good with this person. I trust them. I can rely on them. We're Ozzy and Harriet over here. Sure, we sleep in separate beds, but that doesn't mean, you know, we don't still have a good time with each other, you know, whatever. And then there's another group, or just one side of yourself, Aries, that says, oh my God, this person drives me nuts. I can't stand to be with them. I can't stand to keep working with them. This situation is too much. I'm so stressed out, or we need a solution here and they're not doing anything, or it looks like they're dragging their feet and I don't like their proposed solutions, and blah, 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 blah. So it's like the Lovers, again, is that alignment. Your mind has to align with theirs. Your heart needs to align with theirs, and vice versa. And to get those two different energy centers of a person to align with just one person is hard. And then to ask that another person's energy be aligned, or that you guys meet in the middle and you kind of have this compromising situation, that's a hard balance. That's a hard balance to strike. Yeah? And that's also what goes on with the Lovers card as well. Sometimes we err on one side versus the other instead of striking a balance in between the two. What do I mean? So sometimes with the Lovers card, we say heart first, mind second, or mind first, heart second. I feel this situation, and it's kind of apt, because that's what I was kind of getting at when I mentioned the other court card couples, this is a marriage. Not that the situation is a marriage, but what you need is a marriage between your mind and your heart. You can't be over the top, overly in love, and just like, you know, feeling all the feels as if it was the cups, and you can't be all passion and fire and living by the seat of your pants like the Wands, and you can't be all logical and aloof and intellectualizing like the Swords. The Pentacles, when you think about it, sort of combines all of those things together. There's love and affection, yes. We have practicality and logic and rationale, yes. And we have heart. We have passion, yes. All of that can be encompassed in the Pentacles. So you have a tall order. This has really become like a mush in my mind. Now it's gone from lasagna to being like complete mush. I hope you're able to see your storyline in there somewhere. But let's go ahead and get on with the rest. Now, so between the two of you, let me grab a drink of water while I get into this, because a girl has talked a lot today. Pardon me. So, oh, that's funny. I swear to you guys, I don't look down at the table half of the time. More than half of the time I'm not looking down. But there's that knot that I was talking about, right? And the Eight of Swords right beneath your position, and on the side of the King of Pentacles. Meaning, to me, you both share this energy. Whoever this person is, your partner, your lover, your best friend, your roommate, your mom, your dad, I don't care who it is. Whoever's significant in this intimate space, or this home space, this home or workspace that you share, yeah? Eight of Swords between the two of you. So you're both kind of, in some regards, Aries, being a little hard-headed, or being blind to a situation, or being blind to a particular way to see yourself out of having that knot between the two of you, right? So what I'm getting more so is one or both of you are insistent on your side of things, what you envision as the solution, what you think is the next best step, and someone else is kind of like, oh, I don't agree, here's my idea, and you guys kind of go into this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And there needs to be, like I said, a marriage or an alignment between your energies, or an alignment between your intentions and your desires and your ideas and what you feel and all that good stuff. Like, could be down, since we're talking about swords here, could be down to miscommunication, although the Eight of Swords isn't traditionally a card of miscommunication. It is more often described as a card that keeps us feeling bound and stuck and sort of in a loop in our own head, right? So could be that. Could be you or the other person isn't necessarily communicating their disagreement or what they think is the better idea to rectify the situation, to untangle that knot. You know, you might be like going with their idea just to get it done, but inside of you, Aries, you're just like, this is a bad idea. I don't even agree with this. Well, that would work, but only up to this point. And like, you're like seeing the holes in their idea, but you're not speaking up, or vice versa. They're not speaking up to you. And if that's the case, I feel that's just for the sake of getting the situation like over and done with. Like there's this desire, probably from you, Aries, to no longer circle around this situation, to kind of get it corrected and move on to the next thing. Because again, I felt in the beginning, and it kind of makes sense, she's cradling that rabbit, right? Is let's go. I want to be to the next. I have to be ready, have firm footing here so that I can go on to the next step, and the next step. Rabbits, they're fast, right? Quick. So there's this urgency on your end, Aries, most likely. Could be vice versa, but I feel it's mostly Aries. That I want this to be wrapped up today. Whatever it is. Sale of a house, moving house, new job, plotting my financial future, getting ourselves on a savings plan if this is a marriage or if this is a household with kids. Like, okay, let's sit down and go over the finances. Let's create a budget because by 2058, we need to be ready to retire, babe. Do you agree? Do you not? And they're like, yeah, sure. And they're just like, there's like this, I gotta get it done now. So, you know, and that would make sense. You know, Aries, you're a fire sign. You're a little bit more, come on, let's get the show on the road. So your energy is a lot more proactive, or at least if not proactive, then just active. Just like, come on, like this gesture, like, and then, like, keep going. So that persistence, that drive, that wanting to get to the next step, like, okay, let's boom, down the line here, is creating tension, or it adds to the tension. It's not necessarily the best solution, Aries, if I'm honest. Now, granted, if you're in a time crunch, you know, if leases are up, if insurance says you have to vacate the home by this date or whatever, or your, not insurance, your landlord, due to eviction or whatever reason, like says you got to be out by the 15th, and this person's over here like on the 13th saying, well, I guess we should start packing. And you're like, yes, I've already started. Did you not see all these boxes in here? You know, there's just this urgency that adds to the friction. And I'm not necessarily saying like you shouldn't pressure someone or pressure yourself if you're on a time crunch. I'm just saying I don't think it's going to solve anything. I don't think it's necessarily going to get you to your destination any quicker. Just the timing thing, I think, is already stressful. And so if you, Aries, because you feel pressed upon and if you feel pressurized because of time, if you're expressing that to someone else, whether it's the King of Pentacles or anybody else, I don't know that it's necessarily going to make things happen any faster. You know, the time that you have to execute this plan or the time that you have to move out or move in is already set. When and how you get up to that deadline is really in your control. You know, so if this person is already a lackadaisical, lazy bones, and you know that you've lived with them for how long, you know, and it comes to be the 13th and you've packed up half of the house and they've barely put one thing in one box, don't be surprised. You kind of know that about them already. So why hammer it on them, or why, you know, shove that down their throat? Well, you knew that, you know, I just feel like there's a little bit of a nitpick here coming from Aries to someone else saying you like, well, you knew this was happening, so how come you didn't prepare? It's like kind of a moot point with this person because it doesn't make them go any faster. They're not going to be motivated by your anxiety over this. They're going to be like, okay. And they just accept it because they know me going any faster isn't going to make, you know, the deadline of the 15th suddenly be the deadline of the 18th. It's still going to be there. I'm still going to show up the way I'm going to show up. I'm going to pack when I pack. I'm going to do this when I'm ready. I'm going to do that when I'm ready. Like, this person is not going to be much moved. So again, that's like why they're over there like juggling 2 balls and you're just like juggling 5 or 6 and you're like, come on, don't you feel the pressure? And they're like, no, not really. So it could be down to their laziness. It could be down to just how they handle stress or prioritize in their life. I don't know. But between the two of you, there is this issue of melding and getting things to be copacetic with that Lover's card, but then also this very tense and sort of friction, this point of friction with that 8 of Swords. Now, on the outside here, and I say the outside, but this is really the far side, what else is going on? Do I need another drink? Oh, I'm going to have to get like a tea after I'm done your guys' reading. Pardon me. Kind of like non-starter energy. But actually, there's actually a bit of relief. It's like... I think whatever's going on here, after it's all said and done, after the dust has settled, after the ink has dried, after, you know, you shake hands and close on a deal, or you shake hands and part ways, whatever you're doing, there's relief, but then there's also like lost. Relief, but lost, right? Lost because foundationally, again, what's on the bottom here, Page of Pentacles in reverse. So I'll just show you upright so you can get a better look at it. So on your foundation, you're lacking, or you have a reduced feeling of being ready to move forward, or having a plan to move forward, having stability when moving forward. Now the pages are the lowest of the court cards, right? Page, knights, kings, or queens and kings, excuse me. It's the lowest of the court cards, so you can't really expect all of the things from the pages, but you expect something. And it's still pentacles, right? And you have all your pentacles in a triangle. 1, 2, 3. So they're all connected, right? Energetically in my reading. It could be for you. It could be for your partner here, whoever the King of Pentacles is, because it's on their line. They're in the foundation. So it could be them. But I feel you would share it too, because again, it's this triangle. And it's like putting all this effort towards having certain outcomes or something be solid. And I feel that there's a bit of a stumble here. And it could be that. It could be that. It could just be a stumble. Not a complete fall. Not a failure. Not, you know, a loss or anything like that. I think there's a feeling of being lost, but not a feeling of total loss. Like we lost money, or we lost the house, something like that. Maybe. Like, I feel that layered thing. And it could be because of expectation, right? Aries, you definitely would be a sign that has this idea of expectations and like living up to standards, right? So maybe to your standards, to your liking, things aren't going to feel complete or feel successful, and that's going to be the loss, or making you feel as if you are at a loss. But I don't think it's like so terrible that you're going to be living in your car, or you're going to be living on the street, or crashing on on somebody's couch. I don't think if there's a financial loss, I don't think it's going to be, you know, you're filing for Chapter 17 and or bankruptcy or whatever, you know, within the next couple of months. I really don't feel whatever you potentially lose or don't acquire is going to throw you off too much. Because again, a page is so low on that rung, the lowest rung there is in terms of the court cards, that we haven't even gotten to a large or a stage in the process, or far enough down the road to be fully invested in something. The page is that initial step. So the initial step that you take from whatever is going on here in these 4 cards, whatever you're making your initial step moving towards or away from, slight stumbling coming out of the gate. A little bit of a hiccup here. A little bit of a scraped knee, or, you know, a twisted ankle. You didn't break your ankle, your Achilles wasn't destroyed, your ACL is fine. Sprained ankle, not too bad. You know, there's a whole different recuperating process from that injury than, say, a shattered knee. Does that make sense? So I want to prepare some of you, not all of you, of course, because you're not all going to suffer a type of loss. But for those that do, I hope that you don't think it's the worst thing that's happened to you. I hope that you don't think like it is destroying you in some type of way. I think it's just upsetting your expectations. It's not what you had hoped for. It's not what you have put work in towards. And like I said, this drive that is behind you, Aries, this let's go, let's go, let's go. I want it this way, this way, this way, now, now, now. I'm not saying that that necessarily contributes here, but I think that is contributing to how you're going to view this, how that's going to affect you, because you were so ready, so pumped, so looking forward to getting to that next step. When, you know, if you're thinking all my steps are going to be firm and I'm going to be, you know, walking this way without stumbling, and then you get a couple steps in and then you twist your ankle, you'd be upset. That's not what I expected. That's not what I was accounting for. That is not at all what I had in my plans. I did not plan to hurt myself and now be, you know, on bed rest or having my ankle needing to be elevated every time I go to bed at night for like the next 6 weeks. Whatever. That kind of upsets you. But in the grand scheme of things, did you break anything? No. Did you lose a limb? No. You know, so whatever you're losing, whomever this affects, is not the worst thing in the world. I think it's just, it's a little bit of an ego bruise in some cases, or it just leaves a sour taste in your mouth. Like, if this is about the sale of a house and an offer comes in that's low, and you're like, I was expecting like 30 grand more than what these offers are rolling in at, and you're just like, but the time has come. I need to move. Like, I'm under the gun. I can't wait for my ideal offer. I have to take the offer that's like 30, 15, 10 grand less than what I needed or what I expected. Is it a total loss? No. Is it preventing you from moving on to the next phase of your life or the next stage in your life? No. It's just not what you expected. It's not what you wanted. You or them or whoever. So there's a stumbling, disappointing feeling there with that Page of Pentacles in reverse. Interestingly, very interestingly, 5 of Cups in reverse above. Show you upright so you can get used to it. So 5 of Cups normally, especially in the upright, is a card of disappointment. Is a card of feeling like, oh shit, that didn't go the way I wanted, or oh my god, this is terrible. And you're really crying over spilled milk. You're really reviewing a situation over and over in your mind and thinking of how awful it was and how difficult it was and how it left you feeling despondent and depressed and all these kinds of things. But in the reverse, I normally say it's not the negation of everything that happens in the upright, but in this case, it kind of feels that way. It feels like if it's not the negation, it's certainly the lesser of it. Because if this came upright, I would say, oh, hell yeah, you're about to be super disappointed. In the reverse, above what's already a stumbling block, what's already kind of leaving a sour taste in your mouth, in the grand scheme of things, Aries, whether it's you or them or whoever, somebody's going to get over that shit. Somebody's going to be freer, because when you're in this 5 of Cups energy upright, you're ruminating and you circle the drain. You just keep repeating the misfortune that has happened to you and the sad feelings that you've experienced, and you just keep running that shit over and over in your head. With this in reverse, it's kind of like, yeah, that wasn't great, but I'm not dead, essentially, you know, in the grand scheme of things. This whole situation, however it comes out, and this is not your outcome of card, of course, but I feel as though there will be some like sense of clarity or some sense of being freed, some sense of like, again, with that imagery I have of the Queen of Pentacles energy, your starting position, Aries, of being this juggler, juggling 5, 6 things in the air at one time. Like, oh my God, this is so tiring. I feel that with that 5 of Cups in reverse, you're able to put 2 objects down or 2 things off. And now you're just juggling 3 balls. That's normal. I don't juggle, but that's pretty normal, right? Juggling 3 things, I think that's pretty normal. So whatever was stressful becomes less stressful. Whatever was time consuming or under a time crunch, it no longer exists. The deadline passes, you get the result, you make the sale, you move here, you sign the deal, you do whatever, and then breathe easy. There's like a letting it go. Now, given this is on your top line here, where we had this partnership in the background, right, of whatever kind, and then you're like in this, I want it settled, I want it like fixed, I want it however I want it as Aries here in that Queen of Pentacles energy. Moving to the 5 of Cups, I feel that for some of you, this is a dissolvement of that relationship or a dynamic within that relationship. If you're still solid with your partner and you know you're solid, don't take this as they're going to break up with you or you're suddenly going to wake up on Tuesday and be like, oh my God, I don't want to be with you anymore. Let's break up. No, there's a releasing of this entanglement to some degree. You know, because again, the 5 is, when it's in the upright, the 5 of Cups in the upright is ruminating. You keep going it over and over and over again in your head. With this in reverse, I feel like there's a let go. Like, just let it go. So maybe that's what's going on with some of you. You've been so tightly expecting something or so just assured of a certain outcome, and then the outcome comes and it's like not exactly what you want, and you're just like, okay, fine. Okay, well, that sucks, but yeah, you know, at least I didn't break my ankle. And, you know, and you're just like kind of able to see the forest for the trees, so to speak. You know, you're able to take proper stock of the situation and move along by dissolving something from the past. If not the entire relationship, some element or some facet of the relationship is being put to bed for your sake, for their sake, for the sake of whatever. We just can't keep thinking of things in these terms, so we let that go. You've had a very interesting reading. Let's see what happens with your outcome, Aries. 7 of Cups in reverse. So in the upright, it looks like this, which I've actually never really looked at this card. Oh, this card. Okay, I remember this one. And this woman, no, but it could be that one. But let's see if you can see her kind of being showered with like these shards or like these almost gemstone looking things, and like really being inundated with these objects, but in reverse. So things in this particular depiction of the 7 of Cups were coming upon this woman, like left and right. Stress, drama, appointments, you know, I'm just throwing out things that we all deal with in our lives, right? And then now in reverse, there's like a lessening of that. Also with 7 of Cups in the upright, it's usually feeling like overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. I've got so many things on my plate, so many balls in the air juggling. I got 8 balls up here, or 7 balls up here. It's like, I can't do this many. I am not a professional juggler. But with this in the reverse as your outcome, a lessening of that. So whatever you're anxious about, whatever you're stressed about, whatever you're feeling so like hell-bent on, Aries, regardless of how it shakes out for you, in the end, I think you're better off. You're going to be in a less stressed position. You might not be as fulfilled. You might not feel as happy or contented. You might suffer some type of loss, some type of setback, some type of, you know, missing of a goal. But ultimately, like, where's that meme with Ken Jeong in it? But did you die? Like, I hate to be like so cavalier or kind of morbid about it, but literally, Aries, did you die? After this whole situation is done and dusted, check your pulse. Did you die? You're alive. You're not living. I really don't feel, even for those where you've been evicted and like you're like scratching your head, like, where am I going to find a place to live? I think you're going to be okay. I really think most of you are going to be okay. that stress that you were feeling previous to now or just about now, alleviated. Might not be in the way that you think is best, might not satisfy you, but ultimately you're fine. You're fine. That's quick. Overall energy, Queen of Cups. So, water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Don't have to be dealing with any of those signs, but just to tell you about who the Queen of Cups is. Ah, man. Because look what she's doing. She's cradling that fishbowl, that container, right? Focused on her own happiness, her own emotions, or her own contentment, or whatever she brings to the table. She's got some jellyfish there with her too. Starfish in her crown. This woman's ruling the high seas, huh? So that emphasis on those sea creatures just now, some of you might find respite and some type of relieved emotions, or whatever you're feeling tense about might be alleviated if you deal with the water. So go to the beach, lay out. Go to the beach, take a swim. Go to a lake, fish. Take a long hot bath, even though it's the middle of summer. Whatever. I feel that there's this. Go to a spa if you're like feeling fancy, and like get a massage and, you know, a mud bath. Or I don't even know if they do mud baths anymore. But whatever. Do something healthful and revitalizing that is based on self-care and or near water or in water. That is just advice. You do not have to do that if you're like afraid of the ocean. You don't have to do that, obviously. But being tender with yourself is very important. And if it's not for you, it's for the other person. But there's this kindness that needs to be extended to yourself. Forgiveness, okay, is another thing that the Queen of Cups is all about. Forgiving. She doesn't hold grudges, right? She's the queen, especially when she's in the upright. She lets it go. She does not hold on to bad blood. She really has no interest in that. That's not her bag when she's in her highest quality, yeah? So, as an overall energy, I think there needs to be some TLC is needed in this situation. And you might need to be extending that TLC to yourself. If there's bad blood between you and the King of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles I really didn't feel was another person, but they could be, you know, and if they were, maybe they're a child or a younger person, but I wasn't really feeling that. I'm only throwing that out there as a general for understanding what the tarot says about the pages. There's just this need to relax, to not be so bent out of shape over whatever you're experiencing. Because again, did you die? No. Most of you are not, you know, if I'm perfectly honest, most of you that are watching this will probably not be dead by the end of whatever we're talking about here. Like, let's be honest here. And that's not a prediction, you know, I'm not like a clairvoyant in that way, but I just don't feel that whatever you're experiencing is going to put you in such a situation that you can't recuperate and you can't recover and you can't get yourself back into whatever fighting shape or whatever fit state that you normally would like to be in. You may not be happy. There we go. You might not be satisfied or happy in the short term, Aries, but in the long run, in the long term, you're fine. This hiccup here is just that, hiccup energy. Unfortunate circumstances, unpleasant circumstances, sour taste left in your mouth, maybe some sour feelings between you and someone that you were entangled with, but ultimately, in the end, you're okay. I don't know how, I can't repeat it so many more times, so let me go ahead and stop. Aries, that is your reading for August. If you liked it, there's a like button down below. Hit that for me. You can leave comments down below letting me know how this resonated in your life, because like I said, it was mostly mental lasagna, so it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me as I was reading it, because I saw like 3 or 4 different situations at the same time. It was really weird. But you can also share this video, let other people know that you're watching my content and you like what you see here. And of course, you can subscribe to this channel if you're not already subscribed. Aries, I'll be back in a few weeks when I bring you the mid-August readings. And I will also be going live. I think I'm going to go live next weekend. I think I'm tentatively putting that on the books. But that, again, I did mention it in July. I'll mention it here again for those who may have missed it. I will be going live in mid-August as a part of a birthday package for Leo, because Leo marks the 2nd year that I'm doing birthday messages on my channel, and I decided to do not only just the general overview for the entire birthday period, but I also want to do lives for the specific zodiac during their birthday period. So Leo is the first. They have a live with me. You're welcome to come and sit in the chat and say hi, but ultimately I will be doing readings specifically for Leo. But if you want to come and say hi and hang out, that's totally cool too. Okay? All right, Aries, I will see you quite soon. And I really, again, I appreciate it so much that you guys watched my videos and take the time to spend it with me here today, okay? Thank you so, so much. Take care. Bye.